It's my pleasure to share some of my thoughts and comments about Pat Risser, who was a great friend and, as many of you know, an incredible advocate for those with histories of trauma and negative experiences in the mental health system. We've been asked to address the passion and the contributions of some of these leaders. And in terms of Pat's passion, I would have to say that his first and foremost driving force is his interest in promoting justice within the mental health system. This was fueled by Pat's experiences as a child with physical and sexual child abuse, and also his experiences in the mental health system, where he had a series of really harmful experiences and found the system to be less than helpful. So Pat really focused on justice, and he focused on recovery, which was connected very closely to his passion for justice. When Pat talked about recovery, Pat talked about recovery not in terms of recovering one's mental health, but really to focus on recovering that sense of self that we lose when we're subjected to abuse and trauma by other people. So his focus on recovery was really about recovering that sense of self and agency that people lose through those experiences. And Pat was quite a fighter. He fought the use of force and coercion in our mental health system, and did tremendous things for the. In terms of his contributions and things that he did accomplish, I would say that Pat was one of the trailblazers in the area of male sexual abuse victims, and was one of the first men to come out publicly to talk about his own experience and help that to make that something that was okay to talk about and an important issue to address. But he also did a tremendous amount of training and education. He built his peer support network throughout the state of Colorado many years ago. And he also established a recovery conference here in Ohio. But I would have to say his main contribution was that he used his experiences and his voice to influence federal, state, and local policy and services. Pat served on advisory committees for SAMHSA. He was on the board for Disability Rights Ohio, was on our state PAMI Council, was on the governor's advisory board on behavioral health, and also served on the county mental health board. But Pat was never a quitter. Pat was a fighter, and right up until the end, 3 weeks before Pat passed away, he attended the state trauma conference in a wheelchair and made his final presentation to folks in Ohio at that time. So Pat never gave up, and Pat was constantly fighting for rights and for justice. And if I could say one thing about Pat Risser, he was an incredible human being and a great loss, but left a tremendous legacy. Thanks for allowing me to share.